Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a really long title. I, along with Alec and Jonah, am a member at Fellowship Baptist Church, and connected with Pastor Bratton through Greg Cochran, our pastor.
All right. Amen.
My wife Vanessa is here with me, right over there. We've been married for a little over 2 years.
Amen.
This evening I'm going to speak from Luke 23, verses 42. Go read that real quick.
Amen.
Starting in 41, and we indeed justly, for we are receiving the due reward of our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong. And he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.
Wow.
Listen.
Yes.
I mentioned the first verse. The thief very clearly knew and understood that he deserved and admitted that he was guilty.
Yes, he
And that
did.
he was deserving of the punishment that he received.
Yes.
But he also knew that Jesus was innocent. That Jesus did not deserve to. We don't know much about this thief, aside from the fact that he was guilty,
Okay.
and that clearly knew who Jesus was.
Right.
He believed that Jesus was who he said he was.
Uh-huh.
Believed that Jesus was the King of the Jews, the King of Kings. There's such beautiful simplicity in what he says here. That he says, Jesus, remember me
Remember me.
Remember me.
when you enter into your kingdom.
Yes.
From there we see the thief clearly believes that Jesus has authority.
Yes.
Jesus has divine authority to do something miraculous. That even after death, he can do something incredible.
All right.
And he clearly believes that Jesus is king.
Yes.
As we talked about a moment ago, he's not a king they expected. He's the right king.
Amen.
And it's such an incredible legacy for this thief that he would be the first person to look upon Jesus as the man of sorrows, the suffering servant, and to cry the very thing that each of us should pray, to remember. That Jesus might remember us. Incredible thought. But first, we must look at ourselves in the same way that the thief looked at himself. We must understand that we all deserve judgment for breaking God's law.
Uh-huh.
The sinful thief humbled himself before the God of the universe. He pleads, remember me in your kingdom.
Yes.
It is by faith, by grace, through faith, that this criminal will enter eternity. And through this faith, this criminal sees that Christ upon the cross is just as gracious and merciful as Christ.
Uh-huh.
As I mentioned a moment ago, we don't know what this man did. We know he was a criminal of some sort, but it doesn't really matter.
Don't matter.
There's beauty in the fact that we don't know, because we can identify ourselves with this.
All right. All right.
In this thief, we see that there's no moral requirement
Come on
to get
now.
to heaven.
Come on.
Our world often thinks that good people go to heaven and bad people go to hell.
Not true.
We're really inconsistent on how we
Come on
define good.
Come on now. That's it.
And by our standards, this thief wouldn't be let in. But Jesus is far more merciful and far more gracious.
Yes.
In our society, hell is reserved for evil, vile people, like murderers, or genocidal maniacs, pedophiles, truly vile people. And there's definitely a place for that. And yet heaven is welcome to all who are decently good or pass for good or try to be good.
Come on.
But this isn't how the Bible speaks of
Come
hell
on now.
or heaven.
Right.
In our society, we've simultaneously made the gates of heaven far too wide and far too narrow.
Come on.
But God is far more just and merciful.
Come on now.
God is just in punishing sin, and He's merciful when He forgives sin.
Yes.
What a glorious God. We have a tendency to condemn people to hell when there's still grace left for them.
Yes, it is.
Come on now.
Come on.
And yet we also give people a pass to heaven because we think they might be good. And I can assure you that if you've ever driven on any of our California freeways, you can see there is sin in you. The Apostle Paul in the book of Romans, in chapter 3, verse 10 and 11, says that no one is good, no one seeks God. And then later in verse 23, he says that all have sinned and all have fallen short of the glory of God.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't matter how decently good you think you might be. The Bible says that you're condemned because you've sinned.
Yes.
Right? no better than this thief. I am no better than this thief. Jesus gives us two great commandments when he's asked what's the greatest commandment. He says, love God and love your neighbor. And it's clear in each and every one of us that we have not perfectly done that.
All right.
You may think that you've never sinned as deeply as this thief, and it doesn't matter. I assure you, regardless of how you live, you have sinned. You've broken God's law, and that is enough to merit judgment.
That's true.
This thief was awarded. It's enough for you to deserve to be crucified as well. Here's the beauty. That's not the end of the story.
All right.
Jesus was crucified though he was innocent.
Come on.
As Paul tells us in 2 Corinthians 5, verse 21, Jesus became sin, yet he knew no sin, that we might become the righteousness of God.
Yes, yes.
Jesus became man, but did not sin us. Jesus took our place. He took up that cross so that forgiveness might be offered to us, so that we might have eternal life in him. As we sang earlier, for God so loved the world,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
that he gave his only Son. Whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life.
That's what he did.
Jesus lived the life that we should have lived.
Come on now.
He died the death that we deserve to die. And yet the Father saw fit to look on Christ and pardon us. In his great mercy, though we have sinned, he welcomes us back into that family through our faith. There's enough grace in Jesus that those who repent can be saved. Welcomed into Jesus' wonderful kingdom. And those who fail to repent of their sins or reject Christ will be condemned and appropriately punished. But this is why we preach the gospel.
Yes. Yes.
Saved.
Gospel.
Hallelujah.
Preach it.
And if at any point you think that you've sinned beyond what you can cover, I assure you you've not. I assure you that Christ is able to save to the uttermost.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
You think you need to get your act together before you can come to Christ? Not true at all. This thief didn't get his act together.
Right.
Remember the thief. Realize that he didn't have time to read the Bible. He didn't have time to be baptized or learn theology. And all those are incredible things. But he didn't have time. He was dying. So we pleaded with Jesus, remember me when you get into your kingdom. He didn't allow anything to get in the way. He repented, acknowledging that he was a sinner and that he needed Jesus. If you're not a Christian this evening, I urge you to call upon the name of the Lord Jesus.
Come on. Hallelujah.
King Jesus, remember us in your kingdom. Those of us who are in Christ, rejoice.
Yes. Yes.
Your death brings you forgiveness and salvation. Rejoice, because death has lost its sting.
Amen.
The death has been swallowed up in victory. Rejoice, for on the day of reckoning, Jesus will remember you.
Amen. Yes.
And our good shepherd does not forget his sheep.
Hallelujah.
The words that Jesus responds to this thief are remarkable. The thief pleads, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus' response is, today you will be with me in paradise.
That's what it said.
And on that day, the dying thief rejoiced when he entered into the wonderful gates of the kingdom of heaven. Because though his sins were like scarlet, the blood of Christ that was drawn from Emmanuel's veins
Come on now.
washed him white as snow. And there, to us, as vile as this thief,
Come on now.
can also wash our sins away. Hallelujah, what a wonderful Savior.
Yeah.